Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to this week's episode of Tuesday Preppers, where we look at upcoming content that's going on in the news, and we look for items and abilities and things you can pick up in the game right now that might help you with gearing for those. This week's upcoming content is the Final Fantasy VIII event, and so if we look at the news, there's lots of really cool stuff happening as a part of that. Do a real quick, 10,000 feet up overview of what we have going on. We have the Balam Garden in Crisis. It's a King Mog event, and if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we also have an EX battle against the Ancient Dinosaur. So we'll talk a little bit about both of those, but that's not all we get. We also get a Chronicle battle versus the Elvaret, and that's going to let us upgrade the Lionheart, Lone Lion Squall's STMR to make it 190 attack, and that's really good for him. As well as making this one-handed Galbadian blade, which is, really not that good, but we can make it. There's three right there, three types of things we want to be ready for. The King Mog, the EX battle, and the Chronicle battle. Each one of those has its own boss, and according to the JP Wiki, we can take a look and see what those are. And so, let's do it. The Chronicle battle against the Elvaret is a demon weak to fire and dark. It's immune to attack and magic break, and it is weak to defense and spirit breaks. So you want to bring, your strongest attackers, break their defense and spirit, and hit them really hard on turn one. Bring as many bonus units as you can to farm the Chronicle battle and get it done as quickly as possible. The King Mog event is usually pretty easy, but the final boss is called the Oil Boil. If you played Final Fantasy VIII, you remember what these are probably. They're aquatics, they're weak to fire, wind, and light, but you can't break them in any way. So you just want to bring your strongest attackers, but you're already doing that because it's a King Mog event, and the Final Fantasy VIII units get a bonus. So bring those, and you're going to do just fine. The final one, the EX boss, is called the Ancient Dinosaur, or the Archaeodinos. It's a dragon weak to fire and dark, and you can only break its defense and spirit. And EX battles tend to be pretty rough. You got to get them done in 4 turns or less with a party of 4 usually. So this might pose a little trouble, but it's a dragon, so there's lots of really good dragon equippment materia, killer, and stuff like that for dragons. And we're going to talk a little bit about each one of those. Just worth pointing out too, that's not the only thing going on. We're also getting the final chapter of the Return. And the story continues for the main game with heroic quest updates. If you're into that kind of thing, it's a grand shelt. If you're interested in pulling for premium units, as well as Renoa and Lone Lion Squall getting Neovisions Awakened. So lots of cool stuff going on in the game, but these are the time-limited things. The Chronicle battle, the King Mog, and the Ancient Dinosaur. So let's talk a little bit about each one. Demons, right? We'll talk about demons last. Dragons. Lots of good stuff for dragons. We talked about this recently. Asura's Rod, Dragon Killer Plus recipe. Lots of good stuff you can go out there and make and collect to try and get you really good at fighting dragons, depending on what type of units you want to do. But Dragon Killer Plus is definitely the winner there as far as most flexible. Aquatics. We know there is no aquatic killer in the game. Tiger Fangs is it. We've already done it, so I'm not going to go back and revisit that one. But let's talk about demons here for a second. I feel like I've talked about demons a lot over the past few weeks, and I know I'm going kind of quick here, but I really have. I mean, we've done Mask of Asura, we've done the Crucifying Coercion, we've talked about Quicksilver and all this different stuff. We've tried to do Darksteel Heavy Armor on stream repeatedly, and I failed at it because I tried to make it too budget, too cheap, too whatever. And I'm struggling with how to make it too cheap. Well, I figured out a way to make it really cheap. And so if you can do this, with one really strong friend unit and a couple units to support them, good to go. Here we go. Let's take a look. So we're going to be bringing this team, and the good news about the Armor of Oppression Extreme version is you can bring whatever. You can bring a party of 6. So you can bring a friend unit, you can bring your own units, whatever. Here's the challenges. Complete the quest to get the armor. It's a chest piece that gives Demon Killer. Pretty sweet. No items gets you a Trust Moogle. 15 turns or less gets you a unit of choice ticket. And no KOs means you get Super Trust Moogle exchange ticket times 5. We know it's a human, weak to lightning and water, vulnerable to magic and spirit reductions, and Mirage is effective against it. Cool. And we're going to bring not a friend unit, we're going to bring our own friend unit. And the one I want to bring is from Final Fantasy VI. So we're going to go ahead and do that really quick. Here she is. Here's our team. Notice that Relm and Bartz have no equipment. They really don't do very much at all. Just a tiny little bit of stuff. Bartz really only does one action. Relm does two. The rest of the team does need to have some equipment. Let's talk about Steiner first. You don't really have to have any equipment. I gave him Dragon's Brush, Magical Energy Pack, Call of the Wild, just to help him get some LB on the first turn. Ling is going to do the rest of the work for getting him his LB. Ling and Fina and Daisy. But that's really all he's got. No vision card. We don't do vision cards here for 7-star units. Shoreline, Fina, and Daisy really just loaded them up with Spirit. They don't really need anything other than Spirit on. They're only going to get hit by one attack. And just, as you know, load them up with Spirit. That's pretty much it. Ling has 100% evasion, passive provoke, and obsidian bracer to help break the boss. You don't have to use this. You can get passive provoke and evasion however you want, but this is just the easiest way to do it with just 3 items. She's got her vision card. She's got her own Trustmaster just to get her triple cast going, and that's all she is in both forms. All right, so let's talk Vivi. We're going to pretend that Vivi is our friend unit. I know he's in the middle of the party, and I put a friend unit here, but Vivi is going to be our like super strong friend unit who is geared for this fight. Okay, in his base form, he's got spell daggers and equipped short sword. That's it. He is wearing a vision card. Base shift form, he's got a rod, his STMR, really high magic. He's got human killers, true double hand, all the good stuff. He is missing 10% of his magic stat. Only missing 10%, so it's not bad. He's doing pretty good, honestly, if you ask me. And that's going to be our team. And we're going to go into it and get this done in 2 turns. No deaths. First thing we're going to do, Bartz is going to entrust his LB gauge to Ling. If you don't have Bartz and you want to bring somebody else, you could bring 5-star or 3-star Shara. Shara is a really, really good trust unit, an entrust unit. Just have to build Shara for a little LB fill. Bartz gets it naturally, and that's all he's going to do the whole fight. Ling is going to shift, and she is going to use Refreshing Twirl for Mirage stacks for the party. She's going to use Assassin Stance to give human killer. And we're going to use Dragon Dancer to fill Steiner's LB gauge. Notice we don't quite get it. That's okay. Shoreline, Fina, and Daisy are going to do their magic cover and healing ripples to fill the rest of the way. There we go. Steiner's going to use his LB. I love it. Relm is going to double sketch, and she's going to use Spark Sketch to do lightning debuff for the party, lightning amp, and then she's going to use Pose for a Portrait. This is going to boost attack and magic, reduce resistance to rods for the enemy. All right, Vivi is just going to shift, and you do not want to do too much damage on turn 1. If you get him below 50%, right? He's going to do a bunch of nasty threshold type stuff, and it's not going to be fun. So I'm only going to triple. Triple Thundaga on the party because we have Reflect. And my experience with this is we get to 53% health on the boss. All right, very cool. We dodged all the attacks with Mirage. Ling is passive provoking the single stuff, and Daisy and Fina take the magic damage for us, and we're good to go. Notice Relm has her LB, Steiner does not. So all we're going to do here is we're just going to use Dragon Dancer. Steiner has his LB. Relm's going to use Ultra Sketch for just a better lightning amp. Okay, Steiner is going to go ahead and use LB again. And this time, Vivi is going to quad. And this should be the end of the boss. Two turns, minimal damage, no deaths. We got it. So if you don't have Relm, I guess you could use Cetra Descendant Aerith for her Rod in Peril. I know she's limited, or not limited, but she's a Neovisions. So Relm's more accessible. Also comes naturally with Lightning in Peril. If you're gonna use somebody other than Relm, you got to figure out where you're gonna get Lightning in Peril from. Vivi can do it, but then that's gonna drag out the fight. You can use his Lightning Blade Infusion or whatever it's called to give everybody that move that allows them to imperil lightning resist. But like I said, it does drag out the fight to do that. If you want to get it done in 2 turns, that way works really well. And so that's really pretty much it right now. So on Thursday, we'll be doing the new content over on Twitch. And that starts at about 9 p.m. Central Time, US. And so we'll be doing that. And then on Friday, we've got Ask an Old Mod coming out. I've already got my topic picked out, and I'm really excited about it and demonstrating it for you. So we'll be doing that on Friday. If this video is helpful to you, talking about killers and stuff like that, and what's going to be available to try and help you beat the bosses, definitely like and subscribe and follow to do get all the notifications and stuff that lets you see when this video is live. That way you are ready for Thursday, which is the whole goal of Tuesday Preppers. So we'll see you in the next one. Take care, be good to each other, have a good night, and cut.